Welcome back to Low Tech Linux. This is my second installment of Random Distribution First Look. This is an actual first look since in 20 years plus of Linux I have never heard of Perl Linux OS. Perl Linux OS is based on Ubuntu. Reading from the distrowatch.com blurb, Perl Linux is a distribution based on Ubuntu, uses components of LXDE and XFCE desktop environments to create a desktop experience which looks similar to Apple's OS X desktop environment. The project calls this hybrid desktop Perl DE. Perl Linux OS is also available with GNOME or Mate. Looking at the Perl OS website, it has a basic but visually appealing look to it. If you click on Home or News or Contact Us, these pages look identical. The Home page is the same as News and Contact Us, but the Home page does include at the bottom the contact, which is a phone number and an email address. Basically everything you need to know is here. Clicking on the forum, it takes you outside of their domain to perllinux.freeforums.net. This is both understandable and a little disappointing. On their website, they explain that their Perl DE revolves around the Compiz Windows Manager. Adding that these days it's not easy to find many distros still using Compiz for desktop effects. Since the start of Perl over a year ago, every release at least has an option to use Compiz. At initial boot, we have the menu with the options of Live System, X-Force Visa, boot live into a safe graphics mode, go straight to install, memtest, or boot first hard disk. I'm going to choose Start the installer directly. Must have been a minor problem with going straight into install, because now I'm looking at a live session. Perl Linux codenamed QANON+9. Is that QAnon or Canon? I don't know. The installer is using Calamaris installer, which I really like. I like it better than Ubiquity actually. And it does report my location correctly. The installation's done, and on reboot I did select to not enter my password in order to get into the environment, and it's asking for my username and password. Now that we're inside the system, it said it's configured to look like a Mac OS. I don't have any experience with Mac OS, so I really can't say how well they've pulled this off. I do have the live session installer shortcut still on the desktop. That should be removed after it's been installed. It's as easy as deleting it, so that's easy. There's a taskbar across the top, desktop files, documents, music, pictures, video, links. In the center there is a weather widget and a time widget on the right hand side. There's a search that says Catfish File Search, Update Manager, Network Connection Control, Volume Control, and the button to shut down, reboot, suspend, switch user, lock screen, log out, and cancel. When I click the Update Manager, I get a red bar across it saying, please switch to another Perl Linux mirror. Your apt configuration is corrupt. That's not good. So we will take a look at what their website says. There was a blurb about that. Latest update, April 11, 2020. Perl has had her share of issues with our web hosting. Bottom line is you get what you pay for. The main default location for our repository is at the web host. Through the years, I've learned to release new systems defaulting to the location on the site. We have switched to a new host, and because perllinux.com is not even manageable due to our old host, for now, perllinux.net will be our main website. In red, The Perl repository referenced in the file official-package-repositories.list file in directory etc. apt sources list.list.d is there to receive updates we add or new software we add, but it's not needed to maintain everyday updates for the base system to receive security updates, which for the most part come from Ubuntu. So looking at the aforementioned official-package-repositories.list, the problem is it's looking for app.perllinux.com. So we're going to switch that to .NET and see if that clears it up. So that's interesting. I changed it to .NET, and when I click the update manager icon, it still shows that your apt configuration is corrupt. But when I do a sudo apt update, I get no errors. Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and do a full upgrade and see what breaks. So I have done the full upgrade, and now that the upgrade is done from the .NET server change that I made, clicking on the update manager link, I no longer have the error showing. They are shipping a current version that is broken. So I had to just jump back real quick on DistroWatch and see when the last update was listed. It's listed as April 18, 2020, 4 months ago. It seems like if your system is broken, you would have tried to get out a fix for that pretty much ASAP. So I don't know how active. It says status active, but I don't know how active this really is. But I am going to press on. At the bottom of the screen is a Mac OS like launcher, and I'm going to right click on that launcher and select preferences, appearance, theme. There is a lot of themes that seem to be available, including Mac OS, looks, transparent, Perl OS, Pear OS. There's a lot. I'm not going to try them all out. Position, bottom, left, right, top. On primary display, you can select the display alignment center by default. Icon alignment center by default, icon size 40 by default, icon zoom 123 by default. Behavior, hide dock. You can do a hide dock. Okay. Set on window dodge. IntelliHide, auto hide, dodge maximize window, dodge active window. And it's got docklets. Haven't heard that word in a while. Wow. Docklets. So looking at the default icons that are in that launcher, we have Thunar File Manager, XFCE Terminal, Applications, Slings Cold, have no idea what that is, Firefox Web Browser, Evolution Mail Client, Audacious, OBS Studio, GUVC View. Don't know what that is. SM Player, Software Manager, Shotwell, PDE Command Center. Let's have a look at that. Alright, PDE Command Center. Appearance. There is a Compiz Windows Settings. Compiz Settings Manager. And Conky Manager, Custom Look and Feel Dock Settings. Light DM Greeter Settings, Open Box Configuration Manager, Panel Profiles, and Screensaver. Under the Default tab, Conky Manager, Deconf Editor, Default Applications for LX Session, Desktop Preferences, Desktop Session Settings, Preferred Applications, WM Switch, Disk has a backup tool, Gparted, Time Shift. I like that Time Shift is pre-installed. That's handy. Under hardware, we have a driver manager, keyboard, mouse, monitor settings, power manager, printer, pulse audio volume control, screensaver, system profiler, benchmark, time and date. Under software, Perl featured software, Perl full upgrader, software manager, software sources, synaptic package manager, update manager. Under system, bleach bit as root, create launcher on the panel, deconf editor, haven't heard that one in a while either, firewall configuration, grub customizer, main menu, task manager. Under users, language support, OpenGDK, Java 11 runtime, support, users and groups, Xkill. Under network, Bluetooth, Bluetooth manager, Bluetooth transfer, domain blocker, firewall configuration, network connections, network share settings, network tools, private internet access. Theoretically, everything that's available in the Ubuntu repository will be available on this. Bashtop is not available. I don't think Bashtop is available by default on Ubuntu. So we'll install htop instead. So using htop, we can see we have 488 megabytes being used, which is what you would expect from an LXDE or an XFCE. And 85 tasks, 136 threads. The 85 tasks is pretty low from what I've seen lately. Opening Firefox does take you to the perllinux.net website, not the .com. So that's a plus. On the taskbar at the top, under desktop, we have desktop settings, we have system settings. Here's an interesting thing. Clicking on system settings takes you to sound, which left side has a lot of other things like network, Bluetooth, background, notification, search, applications, online accounts, power, users, default applications, etc. So this is your complete system settings. When you click on desktop settings, you click on system settings, you get the exact same thing. You have two menus for bringing you to the same place. Strange. So right clicking on the weather app, selecting properties will allow you to change the location. Let's see if it has my location. It certainly does. That's nice. I'm impressed. Has my location for weather app. On the bottom bar, when I click on apps, it does nothing. When I click on the Slings code, which I've never heard before, it brings up a list of apps. The pretty standard gnome-looking list. So what's it do when I click on Slings code? Still brings up the apps. Okay. So to sum up this first look, I like the overall look and feel of this. It feels more modern than XFCE or LXDE really brings to the party. Nice work done to it, but it has a lot of issues that I cannot, in sound good conscience, recommend this to a new user. And like I said before, I don't know how much this is actually being actively worked on at this juncture. It's been being worked on since 2014. I think it should be better than this by now. But the guy creating it, I'm assuming he's on his own by himself. Maybe he has a very busy life and he's just tinkering around and this is his hobby. So if it's a hobby distribution, it's actually pretty nice. But I still can't recommend it to a new user. So that's it for this first look edition. Till next time.